What's going on YouTube? My name is Lewis, this is Matterz, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my most favorite post-workout meals, and it is my high protein yogurt bowl. So let's get to it. Alright, so for our protein yogurt bowl, for everything that we're doing, we always want to make sure that we have a scale. It just helps us to be accurate, because what is a teaspoon, what is a tablespoon? When we have a scale, it makes it very easy for us to kind of measure everything out perfectly. So for our base, what we're going to be needing is, we're going to need our Greek yogurt. I use this one, it's 000, so there's only about 100 calories and there's 0 grams of fat. You have a decent amount of protein in there, 17 grams of protein per serving. So we'll be using a decent amount of that for our base. We also, kind of hard to come by sometimes, but is our powdered peanut butter. So basically what this is, it's peanuts that have been dehydrated of its fats, and all that we're left with is basically some carbs and some protein. It's like a third of the amount of calories that you would get in regular peanut butter. I highly recommend going to this. It's obviously not going to be as sweet as regular peanut butter, but you're going to get the same amount of consistency, and I love it. It tastes great, and I put it in a lot of the things that I'm going to be making. On top of that, to help us with thickness and consistency, we are using pumpkin puree. Kind of like a mystery in the baking industry right now, but basically you do not want the pumpkin filling. That's all full of sugar. This is pumpkin puree, and if you look at, again, the nutritional facts, there's only 20 calories per 1/3 of a cup and 1 gram of protein, no fat, so it's very healthy for you. There's like no sugar. You've got 2 grams of sugar in there, which is not that much. To help us sweeten it up naturally, I'm using this whole earth stevia monk fruit combination, so we're going to use about 2 packets of that. And also we're going to kind of make like a chocolate one today, so I'm using this fat-free jello pudding. Do not use the regular jello pudding. That is much higher in calorie. This one tastes just as good, if not even better, for 1/3 of the calories. So in the serving that we're going to be using, there's only about 35 calories in the serving that we're going to be using today, and I use it to really kind of help out with the flavor of most of my recipes. So that's the base of what we're going to be using. We have some optional ingredients which we're going to get to. Alright, we're going to make our yogurt bowl here, and first we're going to start off by having our scale. As I said, our scale helps us to keep things organized on how much we're weighing. So I'm going to put my bowl on top of my scale, and I am going to push the tare button. That basically just zeroes everything out, so I start fresh every single time. I'm going to start off by putting my PB2, and I usually like to put about 15, sometimes a little bit more, 15 grams of PB2. Okay, and that's about 15 or 16 grams right there. Actually worked out to 16. I'm going to add in, because the PB2 is not as sweet as regular peanut butter, I'm just going to add, and again, this is completely up to you, your preference. If you want a little bit more sweeter, you can add more. I'm just going to add in 2 packs of our stevia sweetener blend. Okay. And to our mix, our dry mix, we are going to add in 1 serving of our jello pudding. Okay, so we're going to use chocolate. You can choose whichever one you want. There's like, I think, white chocolate or vanilla. We're going to use chocolate, and we're going to add in a serving which is 10 grams. Wait for our scale to kind of catch up with us here. And that is about 10 grams, or 1 serving right there. Now, to avoid any clumping, we want to kind of mix all of our dry ingredients up together. So I'm just going to kind of mix this up. Okay, now to start some of the hydration process of getting some of the liquids in here, I'm going to start by adding in our yogurt. Okay, so yogurt, I'm going to tear out my scale, bring it to 0. I like to make my yogurt or put my yogurt to about 250 grams. If you want a little bit less than that, you want more than that, obviously that's up to your preference. So we're gonna use about 240, 250 grams of our zero fat, high protein Greek yogurt. And that's about 243, 250 right on. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to mix this all together and bring all of our dry ingredients and wet ingredients together. Now as you can see, it is very dry. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add a touch of water into our bowl. So we'll just add a little bit of water. Less is better when it comes to adding water. Okay, you don't want it to be too watery, but just enough to get some of the wet and dry ingredients mixed together. All right, as you can see, I didn't add that much water and we already have a pretty good consistency. The yogurt is very thick and creamy. To add to our yogurt bowl, we're gonna add some of the pumpkin puree. Again, this is an optional ingredient. You do not have to add the pumpkin puree if you don't like the taste of it or you don't want to add the extra volume to it. This is an easy way to add extra volume to our yogurt bowl and not increase that many calories. So I'm going to tear out my scale and I'm going to add about 50 grams to 55 grams of our pumpkin puree. And that's 57, so that's good enough for me. So I'm gonna add that in. Again, if you wanna add more because you want more volume to your yogurt bowl, then you can feel free to add in more. And we're gonna mix that together. Trust me, you will not taste the pumpkin. I know a lot of people think that you're gonna be getting that pumpkin flavor in there, but you're gonna get a lot of the other good tastes and flavors in there. All right, so basically we have made the base of our pumpkin, let's try that again. All right, so we have made the base of our yogurt bowl. Now you want to top it, all right? Now I add some extra ingredients in there to give it some crunch because I like to add some volume, some low calorie options for you to add that extra crunch into your yogurt bowl. All right, so I'm giving you some ideas on what you can add to your yogurt bowl to make it that much more yummy, that much more nutritious. You can obviously add in some fruit, so I'm gonna add in a little bit of blueberries into mine. We're gonna add in about 50 grams of blueberries. Now, blueberries are a little bit higher in calories than the other fruits or berries that are out there. Strawberry is probably one of the lower ones. So again, be mindful of that. Don't worry about fructose and all that other stuff. It's all good for you. It's everything that your body needs. And it will use it accordingly. So we're gonna add in about 50 grams of blueberries there. Okay, so there we go, that's 50 grams. Next, if you want, you can add in some Hershey cocoa powder. Again, get the unsweetened one, very low in calories. There's only, in the Hershey one here, we have 10 calories per servings, which is about 5 grams. So that's another option for you. If you want to even make it even more chocolatey, you can add that in, okay? Also, I usually add some of these Vector granolas. I really like them. A little bit higher in the calorie content, so use them wisely. I'm gonna add in probably about 20 grams of this Vector cereal. And again, this just adds that nice crunch to our bowl. And granolas are always good on yogurt. So we got about 20 grams right there. On top of that, we have our Special K protein cereal. Again, we're gonna add about 1 serving, or probably less than serving actually. We're gonna do half a serving. The serving is 50 grams. So we're gonna add in half a serving, so about 25 grams of our protein cereal. Again, to add in that extra crunch, give us a little bit more protein, and give us that awesome flavor in there. And we got 20 grams right there. And finally, if you want to top it off, you can also add in 1 Rice Krispie square in here. And here we have the chocolate chip one that we're going to be adding in. So basically all I do is I get my crispy mini square and I just basically crumple it up and put it on top. And don't worry about making a mess, because that's part of the deal. But how we roll in the kitchen here, just make sure you clean up after yourself. All right, so our bowl is done. You can see how voluminous this bowl really is. It will fill you up. It is a perfect post-workout type of meal with enough carbs and protein in there to refuel your workout. If you want to take it as a pre-workout, definitely a great option as well. I actually had mine today, so this is kind of my second one of the day. So we are going to kind of finally mix this up, and we are going to get a taste test, and then we're going to talk about the macros. All right, here it is, my protein yogurt bowl. We got some blueberries on top. I can't wait to dive into it, but before I do, I'm going to show you a little tip or a trick, whatever you want to think of it. Okay, dieting is all about giving you strategies on how to make things a little bit easier for you, because we like to make excuses for not eating healthy. I want to eliminate all of those, okay? Now, I usually take this on my way to work. What I'll do is I'll get a container and make it the night before and put it in the fridge. Okay, it's that simple, that easy. This way I grab it and I go the next morning. But I know what you're thinking. What about the toppings? They're gonna get all soggy. We don't want that. Neither do I. So what you can do is you just get a Ziploc bag, put all of your granolas, your cereal, your rice crackers, whatever you like, in a Ziploc bag, bring that with you, and then just before you're ready to eat it, you can top it and it won't be soggy. It's gonna taste amazing. Trust me, I've done it. I continue to do it, and if you do it, you're gonna love it as well, okay? Let's talk about the macros. Macros in the entire bowl, if you made it exactly the way that I did, is 524 calories for the entire bowl. Can't go wrong with that. You have 44 grams of protein, you have 69 grams of carbs, and only 8 grams of fat. All right, I'm ready to dive into this bowl, but before I do, please remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Instagram at Matterz. I would appreciate the love, so please share the love. That's all I'm asking. I want to get more great content out to you, great recipes that you can use every day, and give you great advice on health, fitness, and nutrition. In the meantime, my name is Lewis, this is Matterz, and don't leave any macro behind.